/ Whoosh! Who needs grouping when you have Miyabi? Animation creep at its finest. Look, her hair even glows while she slashes. And she has a really sick dodge. Hello, citizens. I tested our Ice Fox Miyabi extensively, and RIP Ellen. Miyabi is quite powerful and does not rely as heavily on Yanagi as I expected. Her biggest downside is that she relies heavily on her signature W engine. In this video, I will cover everything from her general gameplay and mechanics to potential team comps and builds. As usual, footage in this video comes from the creator experience server, and there might be changes on the live version. First, a quick note about her attribute. Miyabi is Frost attribute, which is essentially the same as the Ice attribute with one key difference. The Frost attribute has its own Anomaly gauge and also counts as a separate attribute Anomaly. This means you can apply Frost, and then when the attribute Anomaly triggers, you can then disorder with Ice or any other attribute. Oh, there are two interesting findings I came across that weren't stated about the Frost attribute. First, the disorder coefficient for Frost seems to be much higher than the disorder coefficient for Ice. So when Miyabi applies Frost and you disorder with another attribute, even though I haven't been building any extra AP on her, the disorder procs for over 200k. Also, for some reason, Miyabi's Frostbite effect seems to last for 20 seconds instead of the normal 10 when you apply it via the Ice attribute. This likely contributes to the increased disorder damage, but I'm not exactly sure if it's intentional. Miyabi's main mechanic revolves around her Fallen Frost charges. These allow you to unleash powerful slashes with her hold basic. She can acquire up to 6 charges, and based on how many charges you consume, you can unleash either a level 1, 2, or 3 slash. The higher levels look flashier and deal a lot more damage, so you pretty much only want to use her level 3 slash, aka her Judgment Cut. This will require 6 charges, but it has a huge AoE, looks insane, and deals 4.7 times as much damage as her level 1 slash. Unfortunately, Miyabi doesn't gain charges by just basic attacking, so both her gameplay and team building revolves around how to quickly and efficiently get to 6 stacks for her Judgment Slash. Miyabi can gain stacks in the following ways. She gains 1 stack from triggering her own Frost Anomaly, 2 stacks from her EX special, 2 stacks whenever any disorder is triggered, and 3 stacks whenever she uses her ultimate. Miyabi always starts combat with 3 stacks, so she can get to 6 initially by using 1 EX and then triggering her Frost Anomaly. However, getting to 6 charges again for subsequent slashes will take some planning, and her teammates can make a difference. Without a doubt, her best teammate is Yanagi. Since Yanagi can trigger disorders with her EX and ultimate, Yanagi can charge up Miyabi super quickly while dealing extra damage. For those that have Yanagi, you can run any of the following variations, either with a support as the last slot or with a third Anomaly character for more fun. My favorite team is Miyabi plus Yanagi and Caesar or Lucy. One thing I discovered was that Caesar, while still solid, wasn't as impactful on the Miyabi teams. This is also because, since all agents have individual ultimate meters, having a support agent as the last slot can be more beneficial for extra energy recovery for both Miyabi and the team. For those without Yanagi, there are surprisingly quite a few options that are just as viable. Ideally, Miyabi does go on a dual Anomaly team, since having the extra disorder pack can help her damage both in terms of giving her extra charges and giving her extra damage on her next charge attack. For dual Anomaly, Miyabi with Bernice, Jane, Piper, and Grace, ideally on the Yanagi W engine, worked well. I also really enjoyed playing this 4-star team with Miyabi. Lucy has been an MVP support on a lot of teams. Piper has great Anomaly application on her EX, especially if you have copies of her W engine, and you can swap to her to quickly disorder Miyabi's Frost and give her extra charges. Outside of dual Anomaly teams, you can also run Hypercarry Miyabi. This will generally be a bit weaker but can definitely work. For instance, Miyabi, Lucy plus Caesar can be quite strong. You can also run Miyabi, Lucy lighter, or Miyabi like Koen Sokaku. That's right, Alan's team performs better with Miyabi than Alan. For the stunner teams, you'll want to save your judgment cut for when the enemy is stunned and then try to unleash 2 to 3 during that time. Lastly, I also tried Miyabi plus support plus another attacker. This is essentially the dual DPS team, and I found this one to generally be the weakest. Harumasa, for instance, does benefit from Miyabi's Anomaly application, but Miyabi on the other hand doesn't really benefit from Harumasa, and his damage isn't strong enough to make the team stronger than Miyabi plus 2 other supports. TLDR for the team section, while Miyabi synergizes perfectly with Yanagi, she is strong and versatile enough to also play well on most other teams. Even if you don't have any other S-Rank agent, Miyabi, Lucy, and Piper works quite well. Or Miyabi, Lucy plus Sokaku. Triggering Disorder is definitely nice, but not a must. In terms of Miyabi's build, you will want to aim for 80% crit rate to max out on her core passive conversion from crit rate to Anomaly buildup. The new 4-piece drive disc, branch, and blade song will be the best for her. However, if you have really good polar metal pieces, you can still use them. It'll be around 3 to 4 crit rolls worth. Her 2-piece is fairly flexible, and you can choose between whichever discs you have with better substats. Keep in mind that while Miyabi benefits a little bit from having AP from her disorder procs, she benefits much more from having more crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent. On to Miyabi's biggest downside, her W engine. Despite being an Anomaly character, Miyabi scales heavily with crit instead of AP. Her W engine gives 24 crit rate, 50 crit damage, and up to 40% bonus ice damage with pretty high uptime. All of the current other Anomaly engines mostly just give attack percent or AP, and will be significantly worse. I highly recommend pulling for the W engine if you have Miyabi. If you can't pull for her W engine, you can try using one of these in the meantime. In terms of her Mindscapes, Miyabi is already quite strong at M0, but if you want to take her to the next level, you can try for the all-powerful M2. Her M1 just gives 36 defense pen on the slash attack, which isn't a huge damage increase on its own, especially since the Miyabi teams don't usually come with a lot of defense pen. M2 is the Mindscape to aim for if you want to have a powerful on-field Miyabi. On top of the extra crit rate and damage increase, she can now obtain charges from the 5th hit of her basic attack. This decreases her reliance on having teammates proccing disorder to charge her, and lets her have a really fun time on field. M4 feels more of like a filler Mindscape, but M6 really transforms Miyabi into a true Void Hunter. Instead of just unleashing her level 3 slash, now when she is charging, every time she consumes charges, she unleashes the slash corresponding to the level of the charge. It's pretty insane. In summary, Miyabi is very strong, comes with next level animations, insane AoE abilities, and can play on a variety of teams. However, she is reliant on her signature. She is very strong at M0 R1, but you can go for M2 if you want a strong on-field Miyabi, or M6 if you want to become a Void Hunter yourself. For those who already have strong teams and are not super interested in Miyabi, remember her banner runs for the whole duration of the patch. This means you can wait until the 1.5 banners are announced before deciding whether to pull. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. See you on stream or in my next video. Good luck to those who are pulling.